Good morning, students. Let us start with our today's concept. What we are going to learn today is segment, right? Let's understand, students, what exactly is a segment. Now we know that, students, this is a line. What I am doing is I am taking any 2 points on this line. Let's say point A and point B. Now, students, what exactly is a segment? The set of all points. The set of all points which are lying between the 2 points A and B is termed as a segment. And remember, students, a segment is always denoted by segment AB or segment BA, right? A segment is always denoted as segment AB or segment BA. Now this point A and B, right? These points A and B are called as endpoints of segments. Endpoints of segment. Is it clear, students? And a segment is always denoted by its endpoint. Is it clear, students? After understanding segment, let's understand length of segment. For that, let us understand. Let's say AB again I am taking. Now what is the length of the segment, students? Distance between the two end point of the segment is called as the length of the segment. Correct? Now length of AB. This is, we call it as length of segment AB. Now what is that equal to, students? That is equal to distance AB. Now students, in my previous lecture I have already made you understand how to calculate distance between any 2 points, right? And we know the formula, students, greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. With this formula we can find the distance between any 2 points. So students, what exactly is the length of the segment? The length of the segment is nothing but it is the distance between two end point of the segment. So I can write like this: length of AB is equal to distance AB, or I can simply write it as AB. Is it clear, students? Now after understanding length of segments, let's understand congruent segments. Let's understand congruent segments. Now I am giving you 2 segments. Let's say this is PQ and this is 4 centimeter. So how I am going to write? This is length of PQ is equal to 4 centimeter. I am going to take one more segment. Let's say the another segment what I have taken is ST, and ST is also 4 centimeter. So can I write over here length of ST is equal to 4 centimeter? Now what do we observe, students, in this case? Both the segments, they have equal length, correct? So therefore can we say length of PQ is equal to length of ST is equal to 4 centimeter. Now students, when 2 segments have equal length, then such segments are termed as congruent segments. Now we will write this as segment PQ congruent to segment ST. This is the symbol of congruence. So what exactly are congruent segments, students? Now, when two segments have equal length, then such segments are called as congruent segments. I hope students, you all have understood congruent segments. Now, after understanding congruent segments, let's move further and let us understand properties of congruent segments. Properties of congruent segments, right? So the first property that we are going to discuss for congruent segments, it is reflexivity. The first property that we are going to discuss for congruent segments is reflexivity. Now, what does reflexivity says? Every segment is congruent to itself. This is what we call it as reflexivity. Like, for example, if we take segment PQ, then this segment PQ is congruent to segment PQ. That is, every segment is congruent to itself. Is it clear, students? Next property of congruent segments is symmetry. Now, what do we mean by symmetry? Now, symmetry is also very simple, students. If the first segment is congruent to second segment, it means if segment PQ congruent to segment ST, let's write down, if segment PQ congruent to segment ST, then segment ST is also congruent to segment PQ. This property is called as symmetry. Then we write over here segment ST is congruent to segment PQ. It means both are same. I can write this as either segment PQ congruent to ST, or I can also write this as segment ST congruent to segment PQ. Both are correct. Is it clear? The next property of congruent segments that we are going to discuss is transitivity. The next property of the congruent segment is transitivity. Now, what exactly is transitivity? I will take one more segment here for our reference. Let's say this is CD. Now, what do we observe over here, students? Let's say if ST congruent to PQ, you can see in all here there are three segments. So I will say, let's say first segment congruent to second segment. It means if segment ST congruent to segment PQ and second segment congruent to third segment, it means PQ congruent to CD. PQ congruent to CD. Then remember, students, the first and the third segment are congruent to each other. It means according to this property, if ST is congruent to PQ, PQ is congruent to CD, then ST will be congruent to CD. So that's what I'm going to write over here. Therefore, segment ST congruent to segment CD. So students, these are the three properties of congruent segments, and they are nothing but reflexivity, symmetry and transitivity. Is it clear, students? Now, after this, students, let us understand comparison of segments. This is our next concept that we are going to understand. Comparison of segments. Let's understand what exactly do we mean by comparison of segments. Like suppose I give you two segments. Let's say over here AB 5 centimeter, and we'll take another segment. Let's say the another segment that we are taking is PQ, and let's say this is 3 centimeter. Now when we will do comparison of segments, students, when two segments have unequal length, right? When two segments have unequal length, then we can do comparison of segments. Here I can say that 5 centimeter is greater than 3 centimeter. So how I can write this? I can write this as length of AB greater than length of PQ. This is one way of comparing a segment, where I will say segment AB is a greater segment and PQ is the smaller segment. Or what is the other way? I can say 3 centimeter is less than 5 centimeter. So how we can write this? I can also write this as length of PQ is less than length of AB. According to this, length of PQ is smaller than length of AB. These are the two ways, students, by which we can do comparison of segments. Clear, students? Let's move further and understand our next concept. Our next concept is related to, right, students? It is related to midpoint of a segment. Midpoint of the segment. Now what exactly is a midpoint of the segment? Let's say, students, there is segment AB, and I will say that there is a point P on the segment, right? Now what exactly is a midpoint of the segment, students? Any point on the segment which divides the segment in two equal parts is called as the midpoint of the segment. Like here, if point P is the midpoint of segment AB, then AP is equal to PB. So remember, students, a midpoint is a point on the segment which divides the segment into equal part. Like suppose in this case, point P is the midpoint of segment AB. Then what can we say, students? Then we will say that AP is equal to PB. So then we will say that AP is equal to PB, and each of this smaller part, that is AP or PB, each of this smaller part, they will be half of the bigger part. They will be half of the bigger part. So remember, students, if P is the midpoint, if P is the midpoint of segment AB, then AP is equal to PB is equal to half of AB. Is it clear, students? So this is all about midpoint of a segment. After understanding this, students, let's understand the next concept. And our next concept is a ray. Let's understand now, students, what exactly is a ray. So what is a ray, students? I am taking a line, right? So what is a ray? A ray is a portion of the line. Remember, students, a ray is a portion of the line, or I will say it's a part of the line which starts from a point and extends in a particular direction, and it extends in a particular direction. That is, let's say if this is the point A, then from this point A, it can extend in any particular direction. If it extends to the right hand side, and remember students, it can extend till infinity. Is it clear? So it's suppose A is the starting point of the ray and it extends towards the right hand side, so I can call this as ray AB. Is it clear? I can call this as ray AB. Or suppose if it is not extending on the right hand side, let's say A as the starting point and it extends to the left hand side, let's say to this point C, then how I will name this ray? Ray AC. Now remember students, the starting point of the ray, the starting point of the ray is called as the origin of the ray, is called as the origin of the ray and the ray is always named with the origin, so I will name it as ray AB or ray AC. Let's understand further students, what exactly are opposite rays. Let's understand what exactly is opposite ray. Now for any two rays to be opposite ray, first thing, they should have a common origin, right? So here, like if I can say ray AB and ray AC, they have a common origin. And next point, they should move in opposite direction. They should move in opposite direction and they should be part of the line. Okay, so here let's say this line is L, so I can say that both this ray AC and ray AB, right students, they are the part of line L and they move in opposite direction. Is it clear? So both rays, they are the part of the line and move in opposite direction, opposite direction to infinity. Then such rays are termed as opposite rays. Like for example, ray AB and ray AC are termed as opposite rays. So I hope students, you all have understood all the concepts that we have discussed in our today's lecture. In our next lecture students, we will start with practice set 1.2, which are based on this concepts that we have discussed. So till then students, I want you to revise all the concept, practice properly. If there is any doubt, you can just message me across so that I can clarify it in my next lecture students. So till then students, bye, take care and stay safe at home. Thank you.